Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. I hope you are having a great day. Let's start with today's stories. I, 28 female, think my husband, 33 male, might have only married me to take care of him and his kids. I met my now husband when I was 26. We dated for a year before getting engaged, 4-month engagement, and married. He told me he had kids on our first date, which I was a little nervous about as I'm child-free. As we got closer and more serious, I wasn't too worried about the kids, as he did a really good job parenting them and being responsible. He also told me he didn't have papers, which didn't bother me, because I personally think the whole US immigration system is fed up, and I've known many people who spent years getting their papers situated. Anyway, everything went really well while we were dating. He took excellent care of the kids. Cooked, so I would have dinner after school and work. I'm in grad school and at the time, worked a part-time job. Kept his house clean, the whole 9 yards. We also went on dates frequently. He would buy me flowers, get me wine or drinks, listen to my rants and excited stories about grad school, pay attention to my likes and agree whenever I'd say my cat or snake were so cute. However, things started changing after we got married and I moved in. I quit my part-time job since we could live on his salary and my assistantship salary. He wanted to start a business, so I ended up starting the business in my name, given his citizenship status. I ended up doing most of the work to get the paperwork going, which I brushed off a bit, because of all the personal information, like social security number and whatnot. And since I quit my part-time job, I now do all the administrative work for his business, like tax prep, payroll, sending invoices, paying services, etc. So essentially, I quit my part-time job and gained another one. The longer we've been married, the more things seem to be going in a different direction. Now, he throws a fit if I ask for help cleaning the house, or other inside chores, claiming he works so hard during the day and does some yard work. I always remind him that I work too, and always help with the outside chores. He always gets silent, but nothing ever changes. He stopped taking me on dates, unless I specifically asked to go out. He stopped buying me flowers, wine, drinks, etc. He stopped cooking, unless he doesn't want what I've cooked or we have family coming over. And almost worst of all, he's stopped being the responsible parent that does things with and for his kids. Keep in mind all this has happened slowly over time and gotten exceptionally worse since we bought and moved into a house. I feel used. Plus, over time, he's acting more and more like he's entitled to my body, stating things like, "I bought you," and, "But we're married." When I tell him those things are inappropriate, he always says he's just joking, to which I say it's not funny. He also has stopped caring about what I have to say. He doesn't listen to my rants or excitements anymore, and when I say my cat or snake did something cute he says, it's just a cat/snake, which is not what he used to do. Anyway, it feels like I am being used and like it just keeps getting worse. And there's a small chance I might be pregnant. I need to buy a new test, which further complicates the matter. Is he using me? Or is this just what it means to be a wife? OP gives more information in the comments. I mean, you said he's an immigrant. Is this normal in his culture? Because it could also just be that this is what having a wife means to him. And if that's the case, run. That's 100% a possibility. I just didn't expect the change. Is he from a scary patriarchy place? Definitely more patriarchal. I guess what strikes me as odd is that I've very openly been F the patriarchy since we met, and I've discussed at length how I hate traditional gender roles. He's always been okay with that and cooked and cleaned while we were dating, but slowly has stopped. So it's almost like he lured me into it, if that makes sense. Which might also be why I'm struggling so hard with it. Because I absolutely refuse to give in to the gender roles, and it often makes things tense. Where was all this culture when y'all were dating? He played you and most definitely used you for a green card. Fair point. It definitely was there in the way he interacted with his family, but not with me. I should have worded it better. By child-free I mean I didn't enter the relationship with biological children. Sorry for the miscommunication. The business adds a complicated mess to leaving that I'll have to think through. It's in my name, and I do the paperwork, but there is no way I would even remotely be able to run it without him. Additionally, there is the financial matter I need to consider, as I make very little as a graduate assistant. And everything is in my name, the house, my car thankfully, even though he paid it off, the business, etc. He thinks that married women have a right to say no, and thinks a man can abuse his wife. We've discussed this before. But thanks for checking in on that. Definitely a concern. What type of business? If you don't mind me asking. Construction. Definitely not one I can run by myself. My degree is in STEM. OP also share. I grew up in a Catholic household. My mom worked on occasion, but was mostly a stay-at-home mom, and my dad worked. My dad did all the maintenance, and my mom did all the cleaning. That being said, my mom didn't really know how to do any of the maintenance, and she was really strict about the cleaning, so never let my dad help. My parents raised me to be extremely independent. My dad taught me some electrical work, some basic plumbing, how to change the oil in my car, how to rotate tires, how to fix the lawnmower, how to build things. I designed and built with some help my bed frame, and a cat tree among various other things. I always help my husband with the outside work. I help with various home maintenance things. I will wait for him to help with things I know how to do, just because I already do everything. Like, I wanted to hang this whiteboard I had since before we met. I waited since we moved in to hang it, so he would help, even though I know how to find the studs to hang it myself. With the way I bought my car, I get free oil changes for the next 3 years, so he doesn't do that, and I could if he didn't. Currently, the only thing he does is provide financial support, which I do appreciate, but that being said, the business is in my name. I work about 10 hours a week doing administrative stuff for the business, 20 hours a week on my assistantship, and am considered full-time as a PhD student. Oh, I also changed all the loose outlets and old yellowing light switches when we moved it. I did accidentally explode one while checking to see if I had the right breaker off. It was not off, obviously. While my husband was out with family, my dad helped me hang the mirrors back up in the bathrooms, because they hadn't been hung back up for over a month after we painted. I hung all the pictures and decor. I fix the ice machine, sorta, every time it quits working. My dad and I changed the sink faucets that were leaking, because they were leaking for months and my husband didn't help me fix them. Now I'm just ranting, but the point is, I do or help or find help with all the traditionally male roles. Okay, already answering your last question. No, this isn't what it means to be a wife. Also, your husband could just be going through a rough patch, or the honeymoon stage of your relationship is simply over. But honestly, I think what bothered me most about your post, more than his change of behavior with you, is the way he treats you like his property. Like when he says, quote, "I bought you," it makes my stomach turn, and makes me wonder what kind of person you married. Hey, I get that he is from a more conservative country, or had a more conservative upbringing, but you don't say that to the woman you married, or to anyone actually, you just don't. Another thing I would also like to know, OP talked about all the things she does in the house, all the, quote, traditionally male roles. I wonder if OP's husband also gets upset when she does some of these things by herself, and if OP isn't doing these things, that she can, so her husband doesn't get upset. I don't know OP, as I said before, it could be that this behavior is just temporary, and by talking to him, things will sort themselves out. But unfortunately, we can't just ignore the fact that he is undocumented, and that he changed the way he treats you after your marriage. This combination leaves us very alert to red flags. It may not be the case, but like you already suspect, is it possible that your husband married you just to obtain citizenship for himself and his children? It hurts, I know, but you have to deal with this possibility. Besides, if the definition of a wife for him is someone who just takes care of the house, the children and is available for all her husband's wishes whenever he wants, and if he is irreversible about this, you should perhaps leave this marriage much sooner than you expected. I also understand that if your pregnancy is confirmed, it will make the decision more difficult, but is this the environment you want to raise your child in? And with this man? You have to decide what's best for you and follow this decision. Now let's read the comments before going to the update. This isn't what it means to be a wife. There are people who will bend over backwards to continually make you happy. Becoming a wife should be a gain, not a loss. This doesn't sound like love. I'm so sorry you're dealing with all of this. I think you need to leave. The way he is talking to you is not healthy. If you are pregnant, he is going to ramp up the words he uses towards you. I bought you. No, the F he did not. Make a plan, sis. Sounds like he found himself a really special combo of bangmaid, nanny, bookkeeper, immigration asset. All he had to do was spend some time listening to your rants, convince you he cared about his kids, and agree that your cat and snake are cute. Life is good for him. Don't lie to yourself, he knew exactly what the F he was doing when he started dating you. He went for the long con and played you like a fiddle. I'm so sorry this is happening to you. And what do you guys think about this? What would you do if you're OP? Would leave the husband? Would even got married if the guy was in the same situation as OP's husband? Don't forget to leave your comments down below. Now let's read the update. Update: I did not expect all the comments that I got. Thank you everyone for your input. At this point I believe I have read all the comments, though I'm sure I've missed some. Overall, the consensus is that this is abuse, dangerous, and that I need to get out. It's a lot to process and take in. I've contacted a few friends, and will be seeking help from my parents to get legal advice, as I don't have much stashed away, being a grad student with student debt as well. In the meantime, I will also try talking to him, because maybe he doesn't know and it's a cultural thing. I will think long and hard about what I will say, and how I will approach this method, because I do want to heed the warning that this could very easily escalate. I will also reach out to some city and campus resources as well. And what do you think about this update? I really hope OP does what's best for her and gets the help she needs. Oh, are you enjoying the video so far? If so, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notifications to know when a new video is out. This helps the channel, so I really appreciate it. Now let's go to the next story. Am I the idiot for telling my friend her daughter is banned from my home after accusing my daughter of bullying? This is some drama, so I will try to keep it as clear as possible. My daughter used to have a friend named Kat. They were besties in preschool until middle school, but slowly grew apart. They are both in 8th grade. Now, my daughter is popular, and Kat isn't. I have heard about it from my friend a lot. My daughter invited a few girls to go ice skating at the beginning of the month. Kat wasn't invited, and they had a text fight about it. It wasn't a pretty fight, I've read it. Overall, the friendship is completely over. A few days later, I got a call from the principal for bullying. I got in, and the evidence was the text fight and areas were missing. Kat deleted her response, so it just looked like my kid was bullying her. I showed the principal the whole thing on my daughter's phone. Basically got dismissed and teachers will keep an eye on it. My daughter kinda hates Kat now. The issue is retracting an invite to Kat for the holiday party at my home tomorrow. I got a call from my friend who was pissed, saying we should help the girls make up. I told her she is banned from my home and she called me a jerk. Kat is apparently extremely sad, and I need more opinions. OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the a-hole. I told my friend her daughter is banned from my home for bullying allegations. I could be going too far and maybe should help the girls make up. OP replies to comments and gives more information about this situation. Info: why wasn't Kat invited to go ice skating? My daughter didn't want to go with her. $1,000 says your kid is bullying Kat. I rolled my eyes at this. Being popular doesn't equal being a bully. Most people are popular since people like to be around them. Yes, there are popular bullies, but there are also lonely bullies. Info: how close are you with the parent? Pretty close, we have known each other since college. I know my kid isn't perfect, but I know in this case she didn't do anything wrong. So explain how Kat is fine with lying and trying to get my kid in trouble by deleting her part of the conversation and going to the teacher as her complaint she was being bullied. Their personalities clashed a lot, they would argue a lot when they were together and kept growing apart. It got to the point where my daughter doesn't find it fun to be around her since they both would just argue. Also, people grow apart. Okay, look, your daughter has no obligation to be friends with anyone she doesn't want to, and that's it. It's a shame that she and her childhood friend grew apart, but it happens. What Kat did was extremely wrong, and it only intensified your daughter's need to be away from her. And I understand her, because even if Kat is mad with her, it doesn't justify what she did, and who would want to be friends with someone who did that? And I understand you being upset with Kat for accusing daughter for something she didn't do. Also, I understand if you now don't want your daughter to be friends with Kat from now on. I understand all of this. But what I don't understand is what is the point of you telling us your daughter is popular and Kat isn't? Because rereading the post, this information doesn't add anything to your question, at least not for me. Because for me the story here is about two childhood friends who grew apart, one didn't like it, and after another fight, falsely accused the other friend of bullying, and now you've uninvited that person to an event at your house. Which makes sense. But you telling us that your daughter is popular only made people protective of Kat, and suspect that your daughter and or her new friends bullied Kat before, and that this is what caused their estrangement. And maybe it was wrong to think like that, because being popular doesn't automatically make you a bully and vice versa, but it also doesn't make a big difference to the main issue of the story. Which, again, is that you don't want a person who tried to damage your daughter in your house. In which you were right not to want her there, and you're not the idiot for it. From your post, we don't know what happened between them, it could have been a disagreement over something or simply their interests are different now. And while Kat wants to remain friends, even with the fights, your daughter doesn't want to, and that's okay. But also be prepared, as this decision could cause disagreements or an estrangement between you and Kat's mom. Because yes, Kat is wrong here and you have every right to not want her in your house, but her mom may also not want to continue to be friends with you because of this, even if you are right. I'm not saying this for OP to change her decision, it's just so she can be prepared if this happens. And what did you guys think of this whole thing? What advice would you give the OP? Now let's read what the comments say. Not the idiot. You shouldn't have anyone your daughter doesn't want to. In life, we pick and choose our friends. Not every relationship has to stand the test of time. No need to force them together. Honestly, your friend seems a little bit like an a-hole. She should discipline her daughter for making up a false accusation, rather than being entitled to attend your holiday party. Not the idiot. Your daughter lied and fabricated evidence to get my daughter in trouble at school. I'm not going to reward that behavior with an invitation into my home. Maybe, after the holidays when everyone has had a chance to reflect on their actions, we can sort this out, but trying to force the issue now is not going to happen. At least, that's where my head went. A holiday party implies there will be a number of people there. If this girl still has bad intentions towards your daughter, it would be far too easy for her to do something to further her plans. You're right to uninvite her. Tell me, could anyone ever tell you anything, show you any evidence, that could convince you that your kid was the bad guy? I suspect not. You won't hear it. So this conversation is futile, nothing I say will even make you question her version of events. Which, I suppose, is all I am really asking you to do. Question it. The fact that the principal took the bullying accusation seriously, then saw the actual conversation and dropped it, is pretty strong evidence that OP's kid wasn't bullying Kat. Kat falsely accusing your daughter of bullying is a step too far. And if they make up, there will always be the thought in the back of your daughter's mind that she'd do the same if she's upset with her. And what about you guys? Do you agree with the comments? Or what would you advise something else to OP? Please don't forget to leave your comments down below. And that's it for today, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time.